This chair is getting a little too bad.
Okay, it says we're live. I haven't seen it flip yet.
There we go. I believe we are live. Hello, Gun Nation. How are you guys doing this evening?
Fantabulous.
Doing well. How are you?
I'm living the dream as long as you don't wake me up.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yes, everybody is mentioning it. Honest Outlaw has called us out for the gangster challenge, but I did notice one thing when he was shooting. He wasn't grabbing his crotch and he wasn't leaning back.
Right.
Gangsters don't shoot with RMRs either.
Yeah. Well, they're becoming more sophisticated.
Do they got to put RMRs on high points now?
That's right.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed was his wife didn't seem too happy walking around in the snow freezing. So, he may have some splaining to do.
No, I felt so bad for her. I was like, golly, man, you play that poor lady's out there in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, it looks like he was having a good time, but it was like she was ready to go.
Yeah, I know. She's like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. I know. And, most of us shoot like at indoor ranges and stuff like that. And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, hell, I can go outside the building and maybe shoot around the building or something to get that distance.
Yeah.
But yeah, hell, I'll try it. We'll see what we can do as far as I can go with the distance. But I was like, man, hell, I probably need to take an AR to shoot that far.
Yeah, there's no way I'm hitting anything at 50 yards. No, not with a pistol. That ain't happening.
Oh my God. Pops is saying, is this SHOT Show?
Yeah, man. Awesome. Totally SHOT Show. This is where it's at.
Yeah. We have been getting some, and I'm sure y'all have too. TN Steyr asked, I definitely want to give him a shout out just like you did last week. But give him a shout out. He basically kind of emailed all of us or text all of us and asked, what we wanted to see and stuff. And so I gave him some stuff that I wanted to see, and he got it done. I mean, he took some really great pictures for me and talked to some people. And, hell, Harry's been giving me heads up, Links Defense, everybody. So I definitely appreciate everybody giving us the heads up from SHOT Show. And of course, Bald and Curious, KB's there, they're all having fun. So
they're both busting my balls with Caracol.
Yeah. I saw that from KB and stuff.
So it actually exists. That's surprising.
Oh man,
exists. No. They just exist. They just exist right there on the counter. That's where they exist.
Listen, you guys can mock it all you want, but when I have one, I'm going to be a happy guy.
Okay. All right. And I'll be happy. And I'll be happy for you.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah.
You're going to be happy for a week, and then it's going to be sold.
No, man. There's certain guns that I got all my Steyr still, except for the S9. But speaking of Steyr, woohoo! I'm an excited guy tonight. Jesus.
It's funny. So for everybody who hasn't been following along with SHOT Show or on Instagram, especially that sort of thing, so Steyr is releasing a new generation of their firearm, and so you're gonna have to help me out, 17, because I can tell that the grip texture was significantly advanced, and that's huge.
I actually was kind of talking to their marketing person, and we kind of going back and forth, and they actually asked my opinion about the gun, which I was surprised. And I said, it's absolutely a work of art. Not, they fixed things that they knew were kind of issues. However, they wanted to keep like the foundation of the gun intact because there was a lot of great things about the gun. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to kind of go through this long list and then talk about the one thing that people were complaining about that I think is absolute bullshit. But yeah, they fixed the grip. So it's, it kept really good ergonomics on it. You have replaceable side panels and a replaceable back strap, which is huge because there were a lot of people who were saying, their hand didn't necessarily feel right on the gun. So now you're going to have that option to do that. The texturing on the grip looks phenomenal until, we have it in hand. What I've been hearing is that it's an aggressive texture. So I think that's a huge bonus because, I had my L9 stippled for that reason. You got a standard Picatinny rail this time. So that's a huge bonus. But for the most part, everything remained the same. They modernized the design a little bit more. The thing that most people were, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I was reading comments, but, the one thing that a lot of people were still complaining about was, the trigger reset. And I just think that's such a ridiculous complaint. If you're using the gun as a, a professional target shooter or whatever, then yeah, it's going to cause you an issue. But a lot of us use these guns for self-defense purposes, that type of thing. So to me, the reset is a non-issue. You know, if you've shot a Steyr, you know the trigger does not have a solid tactile or audible reset. Number one, the audibility of a reset is absolute garbage. When you're shooting a gun, whether it's at the range or not, you're not going to hear the reset anyway. So it's a non-point, at least in my opinion. The tactile, you know, reset, I mean, the natural reset of that trigger comes back to the original point. So to me, it's not an issue either. But again, I'm completely biased because I love their handguns. So I'm going to sell that to you guys. But I'm kind of curious, like what you thought about it, you know, when you saw it.
Go ahead, KS.
I mean, like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for all the changes. I don't necessarily agree with the reset. That is a complaint of mine. I do agree with you in a real life situation. Nobody cares. You're going to just shoot the gun, and you're right. It does come back to a pretty natural point. So it's not really a stumbling block. I still would have liked to have seen something a little bit more tactile, a little bit more audible, even just from a training perspective. I can hear them at the range, and you know, maybe some people can, some people can't. But I'm stoked for it, man. I like Steyr. I think they're great shooters, flat shooters. So I'm excited to see it, and hopefully we'll be able to. They are notoriously difficult to get a hold of, especially in my area. You know, I've seen maybe one or two in gun shops over the course of years. So it's always hard to come by. But we're gonna see what we can do to get one in.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, you know, like them too. I think that they're very nice pistols, and I'm kind of on the KS side. You know, I do like a reset. You know, I tend to shoot from the reset quite a bit. Not saying you have to, but that's the way I shoot. And, you know, if you have electronic ears on it, you can hear, I mean, I can hear all my resets. That one was a little mute, but, you know, not a big deal. I mean, it's definitely still a great shootable gun. Definitely, you know, getting the texture on the gun is going to help a lot. Because that's one thing it desperately needed. I think we've all complained about that. So I think it's going to be a great gun. And plus what TN is doing with, you know, the group, taking the Steyrs and, you know, kind of tricking them out and doing the lightning cuts and all that other stuff. I think it's going to be I think that his design that they're going to do is really a badass look too. So I think that could even bring more people to the Steyrs that maybe weren't thinking about it before.
Well, the thing about Ranger Point Precision with the way they cut the slide is that the slide hasn't changed. So whatever they're doing with that slide is going to carry over to the new generation.
Yeah, they're putting like a stainless steel guide rod in it, you know, a weight, stuff like that. So it's
But what I'm saying is that the dynamics of the gun are still the same. So if you go and get that Gen 5 Steyr, you're still going to be able to use them to be able to trick it out however you want.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, now have y'all seen, what have y'all, you know, one of the questions I had was, what have y'all seen from SHOT Show, like, you know, videos or people holding pictures of guns? What have y'all seen that has kind of excited you? Is there really anything that's just like, wow, that's really cool, or kind of the same old stuff? Have y'all seen anything so far?
One thing that caught my eye, and actually I thought of Honest Outlaw for this, and I think I called him on it on Instagram, was the VP9 long slide. I really didn't think they were going to do anything like that because I don't see as much of a practical application for it. But in terms of shootability, I bet that thing would just be awesome. So I do want to try and get a hold of one of those. They've got some lightning cuts. I mean, I think it looks like a pretty cool gun. But yeah, you know, the Steyr, those were kind of the two big ones for me. Some of this stuff we've already known about. I mean, obviously we've got the Glocks, the CZs, the P10s, that sort of thing. I've got the F now, but still waiting on the S. And nothing else so far that I've seen, and I'm still trying to kind of wade through all the stuff that I don't care about so much. That doesn't make very much. It's I'm not very excited about, but trying to wade through that to get to the stuff that I'm really excited about. So news is still trickling in.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for me, you know, I had such a boner with the Steyr that it was over after that, to be honest with you. Honestly, you know, I looked at a lot of the stuff that people were putting out. And honestly, I don't know, like, I'm going to criticize a little bit. Like, to me, it's more like a popularity contest. Like, I don't give a shit about your face. I don't give a shit about you shaking hands with people. I just want to see the guns. Like, that's all I want to see. you know, and that's me, but that's because I'm not there. Now, if I was there, I'd probably be shaking hands and taking pictures of myself. But, you know, I want to see the stuff that's new and coming out. In regards to the VP9 long slide, like, I'm not a huge VP9 fan, and I'm sorry, guys, it looks like a Walther PPQ Q5. You know, I mean, it's almost identical in so many ways. It's almost embarrassing. I think I was hoping to see a single stack come out from H&K.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I'm still waiting for is to see what the hell does Smith & Wesson have. I mean, all I've seen is about the Shield Performance Center 2.0, but nothing. I would think they'd have a you know, some sort of optic ready handgun, but nothing, which is kind of disappointing. You know, for me, it was, you know, I kind of had a hint that Steyr was going to release a Gen 5. So, and honestly, I may or may not have seen that picture before, but, you know, I knew something was on the horizons with them, and that's what I was looking for. And I was not disappointed at all. I mean, to me, it is just, for me, it is like the baddest ass gun that I've seen from SHOT Show. And I also am a huge fan of that Caracol. I mean, I want to get my hands on that gun because I really think that gun has a future in the market. So it's going to be interesting. I think 2019 for Steyr is going to be huge. And I'm just super excited for both those guns to come out.
Well, we can make you a Caracol out of Legos, so you'll have it quicker. But,
right.
Yeah. I put my hands on the Caracol, you know, at NRA, and I mean, it feels like a nice gun. And Bald's right. You know, I listened to Bald's opinion when he put his hands on it, and he's not crazy about the trigger. I'm not saying it's a bad trigger. It's just, you know, it's just not that great. I think for the way that gun feels, and it feels nice, I think it could have a better trigger. But as far as my opinion on it, or from SHOT Show, you know, the VP9 long slide is cool. I wish it had a longer grip, you know, kind of like the PPQ, or excuse me, the PPQ steel frame. You know, I wish it had a longer grip, at least a 17-round grip. But I definitely really like the Monarch, the Nemo Monarch. Harry checked it out for me. Of course, TN Steyr did, sent me a bunch of pictures of it in their hands and stuff. And it might have, I was looking at the grip, and it could be a little bit shorter grip, but Harry says it feels great. It's got interchangeable panels on the side, so that's a plus. So you might be able to build it around your hand. I think it's really a cool gun. They're saying price point, and they've only kind of given MSRP, and it's not going to be out till March, but they're saying like $1,500. But that's with an RMR cut, threaded barrel, you know, lightning cuts. I mean, it's got all kinds of crap on it. So we'll see what it settles out at. And then I really like the, you know, all the STI stuff too. I like the new Combat Master that's going to be in the John Wick movie. You know, I saw X-Rings video on it, and I was like, holy crap, that's really awesome. But, you know, it's a good looking gun too. So, but those are just kind of the ones I was excited about, you know, and seeing the CZs also. But a lot of those I'd already seen. Even the kind of performance ones that they kind of tricked out a little bit, it didn't look like a lot changed from last year or at the NRA show. So, but
now, so I've got a question for you. We haven't talked about this one yet, but I'm actually kind of excited about this. I'm a glutton for punishment, but the Sig Sauer P320X Compact. So it's a shorter slide and a shorter grip, which I think the X carry should have been all along, although I know a carry is a 17-round typically. You know, they needed one in the lineup that was a little bit closer to, maybe not a subcompact, but a little bit closer to that. And I think that's really smart. So I'm actually really excited to get my hands on that one.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the AREX Delta?
I can't wait. I really want to get my hands on that as well. That's on the list for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks like a lot of guns put together. You know, I see a lot of Glock. I see some CZ in there. You know, of course, see some, you know, AREX. It's just a different gun, you know, and of course, not having my hand on it, not being able to shoot it, you know, that kind of leaves a little bit to, you know, I saw an article where someone wrote about it after they shot it. And at first, when they started shooting it, they didn't really care for it. But the more they shot it, they actually liked it. So I don't know. I mean, once it's out in the real world, you know, hopefully we'll be able to get our hands on it and take a look at it.
Kind of reminds me of a futuristic High Point. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad gun or anything. It looks weird. The gun looks strange. Like the lines on it look a little off. But I mean, you know, if it feels good in the hand and shoots well, who cares? You know?
Yeah.
So Keenan is asking about, has anyone seen the CZ bullpup attachment? What do you guys think of that?
Bullpup attachment.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Like attachment for a pistol, then is that what you?
Well, it's a bullpup. So you basically take the insides of the Scorpion and you put in a bullpup attachment. So it brings everything behind. Yeah. It's a whole different deal.
Kind of like a Tavor. Yeah, I mean, I don't see, that doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I think the CZ Scorpion and the way it is shoots really well. So, and I'm seeing a lot of the Glock, what's the thing that you can put your Glock pistol inside of the turn it into like a carbine. I've seen a lot of that stuff, and that really doesn't do anything for me. What about y'all? Kind of like the Ronies and stuff, but I think they're different brand names. Doesn't do anything for y'all?
I don't see a big use for something like that, but to each their own,
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have choices.
Yeah. If it was a range toy sort of thing, sure. I could see a little bit of fascination with that. I wouldn't mind trying one just for fun. It's not something I would ever buy because again, aside from a range toy, to me, it serves very little practical application. Although I suppose that could be something that could be, home defense, I guess, if it's reliable, but it's a novelty thing.
Yeah. Since we already own the Scorpion, I don't see any reason to take your Glock pistol and then put it into something to turn it into, a rifle. Like I've got that little Endo Tactical that you can put on the end of the Glock and turn it kind of to like a little carbine type thing. And it actually works pretty good. So I wouldn't want to put my pistol, and I've heard some mixed reviews about that. Some fit really good, some fit loosely, some run perfectly, some don't. So I don't know. I think the jury's still out on some of those. But and a lot of them won't take Gen 5s yet. Now they could have a Gen 5 version. I just heard that some of them wouldn't take a Gen 5.
Every time I see that, what is it, Micro Roni, I just think of Bobby Brown and My Tenderoni. That's the only thing I see, Tenderoni.
Yeah. MD Polo has a question. Release date of the CZ P10S optics ready. Supposedly, after SHOT Show, they're going to start releasing all of the optics ready. I don't know if there's an exact date. That's just what I was told. So I don't know.
So here's what's funny though. Armsman was saying he's getting the P10S, and to my understanding, the P10F, the new one, that's the only one that's actually out right now to get, according to the CZ folks I know. But unless it's Blue Label, that would be for law enforcement and other services members. They can get a hold of some of the P10s. But I was not aware that they're out on the public, but apparently he's got one that's arriving tomorrow, P10S. It might not be optics ready because I don't think the optics readies are out yet.
Yeah.
So in regards to Blue Label, now that you guys brought that up, for anybody out there who qualifies for Blue Label, and they probably know this, if you are interested in like a 43X or 48, so I was looking at the list, 43X right now for me would be $356.
Wow.
I love it.
That's cheap.
I'm not buying it though.
Well, and speaking of Blue Label, I saw something just yesterday that kind of blew me away. They got another batch of the 17Ls, the Glock 17Ls, but they're only selling them for the Blue Label program. And it's through GT Distributors. They got a allotment of them, and you get the 17L and you get the 3 mags, and then you get 2 additional mags. And Blue Label price was $488 for a 17L. And I was just like, wow, that's freaking cheap.
Listen, you do your time and you play your cards right. You get some perks, which ain't bad,
But it's only through, if anybody's listening, it's only through GT Distributors. So not through anybody that I know of. It's one of their exclusive deals they got. So, but anything else that y'all are seeing?
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think it's been overly exciting. And I think that's where I guess the difference of why SHOT exists in the first place. It almost seems like it's more of a conglomeration of schmoozing and rubbing elbows, and then they have some products out there. So like, you look at other things and honestly, you wonder sometimes why gun companies just don't wait till right after SHOT Show. Because you might get more attention that way. But and maybe that's maybe that's what's in store for Smith & Wesson, because I remember they didn't say anything about that M&P 2.0 compact until after the fact, so maybe they'll have something out like shortly, at least I don't know, maybe.
I was thinking they were going to have the 2.0, like the core versions, you know, like the RMR versions. I figured they would start dumping those by now, but maybe it is going to be after SHOT Show. But, you know, I figured those things would be out because there's definitely a demand for them.
Right.
You know, hell, I've seen the 1.0 cores and Pro Series and stuff like that with the RMR cuts going for like nothing now. I mean, they're really cheap.
I mean, look at the 2.0 compacts. I mean, like three and change, like 369. Yeah. It's incredible how low those prices are.
Yeah, and I've seen cores. I mean, which are great pistols as they are. I've seen the cores going for like $424 or $440. Yeah. I was just like, holy crap! I remember when I bought mine, it was like $700.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going down. Now, what about the Mossberg pistol? Do you still have interest in that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Never did.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of people looking at it and, you know, they're saying it has a great trigger and stuff. It's going to be interesting. You know, me personally, no. But I think that, you know, when people get them out there and start shooting them, I think they're really going to like them. And, you know, I'm sure they'll do well. The price point, wasn't it like $366 or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So just really quick, I don't mean to go off on a thing, but the Indestructible One asked, has anything been announced about the Masada? And that's interesting too. Like I'm more interested in the Masada than I am in the Arex Delta. But I didn't see anything mentioned about it at all.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm wondering if that thing just went bye-bye.
I don't think so. I think they're actively using them on their, you know, their military personnel and stuff.
Right.
And they make quality guns. So to me, like I look at that and I said, boy, that would be one I'm more interested in than that Delta, you know, but, and I think it looks nicer. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Have we missed any great questions from the family over here? Oh yeah. I see Jeff England brought it up because I have it written down here. Did y'all see the high point with the threaded barrel with its blacked out and it's got these little grip panels with the little colors? I was just like, what the hell were they thinking there?
Yeah, I was just like, next.
Yeah. I was just like, oh boy. So I thought that was pretty funny. But hell, somebody will buy it, you know.
Yeah, why not? Hell, who cares?
Definitely buy it. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Logan was asking a question a little while ago about the Colt King Cobra. What do you guys think about the Colt King Cobra?
I mean, it could be good if reliability isn't a problem for Colt, you know. Colt still has manufacturing issues.
Well, the Colt King Cobra, if I'm not mistaken, that's a revolver.
That's a revolver.
That's a revolver. I mean, there's the Anaconda, the Cobra, the King Cobra, all of those. I would say the Colt revolvers, and even the 1911s. I think you're gonna have a hard time going wrong with those. Even with some of the different things that have gone on with Colt over the past few years, those are tried and true formulas. And the King Cobra and the Anaconda have been around for decades. So
yeah. Yeah, the King Cobras are nice. I mean, I've seen those things, you know, especially like the older ones. I've seen them going for big bucks. So yeah. I personally don't have any experience with them. I don't even think I've ever shot one. But they look nice. If you're a huge revolver fan and you want something that large, I mean, go for it. So let's see here. Oh, Fu Master Chew's getting him a new high point with a gold tooth. Sweet.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I had a correction. It's gold tooth.
His toofuses. Yeah, and you know, that's like that picture I got on Instagram with a high point where they put the sights on the side. You know, where you got to turn it sideways to see the sights. That reminded me when Honest was shooting that way. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to break out that high point.
So MD Polo's asking, was saying, so he sold his 365 and looking for a new carry gun. He has a Glock 19. If I don't have a 43 is what he says, would you buy the 43X or the 48? What do you guys think?
Go ahead.
I'm going personally with the 48. Just because I like the fact that it's going to be a slimline 19. You know, I like carrying the 19. I have no problems carrying a 19. I think I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really think it's the perfect size and the perfect balance of concealability and full-size grip, or not a full-size grip, but a large enough grip to get a lot of control on the gun. So for me, it's a 48. Am I discounting the 43X? Until one comes in and I feel it, I'm not pushing the button on that one. So the 48 is what I'm going with.
You know, I would go 48. No question. Even having the little bit extra slide length, and the grips are the same. but having the little bit extra slide length, I think is always a good thing. If you can have a little more sight radius. You know, a matter of fact, I mean, Humble did a great test on the 43 versus his 48, and it makes a lot of sense, you know, and kind of before he did the video, I was telling him, yeah, slide length, if you can get it, take it. And it kind of proved that in his video. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. But it's 43 versus the 48, and he's doing like quick drills. You can see the spread on it. I mean, it's with a shorter barrel, it's definitely, you know, kind of wake you up on that. So that's my opinion. But, you know, I put the 48 in my hand. I've already kind of played with it and stuff, and I'm going to shoot Humbles. But it's, you know, for me, it's still kind of small, but it's better. I think it's better than the 43 personally, the regular 43.
So here they are. And I'll tell you, shooting wise, at least at short distances, let's say 6 to 10 yards or so, I don't think you're going to notice a difference between the two. If you do, it's negligible. I think once you get past 10 or maybe 12 yards, there might be a little bit of a difference in accuracy, because you're right. That sight radius is a little longer. Anytime you have longer sight radius, your chances of being accurate go up, generally speaking. But I mean, you know, if you have a 19, the 48, it's in such an odd area, because it basically is a 19 that somebody just kind of smashed a little bit, and that's it. But the 43, to me, it's a little lighter, a little smaller, certainly in the slide. The rest of it's the same. So if you're looking for ultra concealability, I think the 43X, or really the 43, because it's got the shorter grip. But these two are a little bit more shootable, I think, than the 43, or I found that to be the case. I've shot both of these. I put 800 rounds through these this weekend. That's a long story, and I will never do that again. But I kind of felt like I had to with these. So I learned my lesson with that. But I was surprised. The 43X, they sold out instantly. They were never put out on the shelf at Center Fire. I'm not sure how many they got, but they were sold immediately. There, last time I checked, they still had a 48. So we were all kind of thinking the 48 is going to be a little weird. It might not do quite as well, not quite as exciting as the 43X. But the comments in the video that I put out over the weekend, more people, and Jasper, I know he got the 48, really likes it. More people were talking about the 48. So there's an odd correlation there. Something's weird, because usually the one that people are talking about is usually the better seller. I even see locally, and that's not the case here. So, I take your pick, man. Take your pick. I think they're both decent guns. They need help. They need new sights. Those are on the way. And I think they need better triggers. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I just think. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say Red October. Okay, he said he'll ask again, because he said he asked a question. I didn't see it go by. So if he'll ask it again, we'll answer it. Yeah, and anybody that has questions, please throw them up there. We'll start answering them.
You know, I know that some people were saying that the 43X is a little gimmicky. The only reason why I'm not sold on it is, I mean, the way I look at it is I personally would like a little more weight, and I'd like a little bit more size in regards to the gun. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with 43X. I'm not even saying I won't get one. But, for me, if I had to choose one or the other, I couldn't do both. So I went with the 48. I'm just waiting for it to come in here because, I live in a communist state. And then it'll be another 10 years before I get it. But, I like the fact that we're finally getting a thin Glock that's 19 sized with 10-round mags. So for me, I'm like, yay, finally.
Yeah, Dave, we know about Honest tagging us for his gangster shooting, and we're all going to try it to the distances that we can. We don't have a range in our backyard, especially like he has.
I can go to a 50-yard range, but they're such pain in the asses. I got to load in 3 rounds at a time. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not kidding. That's a range rule.
Oh, and actually, I wrote this down. And, Music brought this question up when we were in the pre-chat. Basically, I'm sorry, I'm reading a question somebody's asking me, but, well, okay, hang on real quick. Let's answer Red's question. For the panel, do you prefer a smoother slide action or a trigger on a pistol? Easier for those who aren't too strong in the hands. Some have weak wrist from elder age. Okay, so do we prefer a smoother slide action or a trigger on a pistol?
So it's one or the other.
Yes.
It's a good question. I mean, I guess from the standpoint, are you saying smoother slide action in racking the slide, or how the gun actually, with the recoil?
Yeah, he's saying racking it because it's for an elder. He's saying
Gotcha.
for like,
Got it.
elder person.
Well, I mean, it's tough to say. I think I had one of the smoothest slide racking guns ever in the history, called the CCP. And I mean, the trigger was absolutely horrendous. I don't know. I mean, I just think there are certain guns that you can't discount either. Like I have like the PPS, the rack and this slide is a little bit more difficult. And there goes my plate. But there goes, it's a little bit more difficult in the CCP. But I also think that in regards to the M&P 2.0, that's a smooth slide. Very easy to rack that gun. So that's a tough call, man. I don't know. It's a good question, though. I'm just not sure.
What about you, KS?
Well, if I was thinking in terms of somebody who really needed it, I mean, a smooth action, if you can't run the function of a gun, you're going to have a hard time shooting it, right? So you've got to be able to rack the slide. You've got to be able to load down in the chamber. So yeah, guns like Smith & Wesson EZ Shield, I've done that review. That Taurus TH9C is extremely easy. Any of those hammer fired guns like that, they're going to have a lighter recoil. So that could help. But if it was me personally, I'd rather have a smooth trigger. I mean, I can rack the slide on a heavier gun. That isn't a big deal, but down the road a few years, that may not be the case, seeing as how my wrists are kind of falling apart. So, but yeah, I mean, it all depends on your need. I think there is a need in the market for easy racking slides, because there is certainly a population that is getting into guns that are older, so it's had that advantage.
Yeah. Well, for me, it would be trigger. And the reason I'm saying that is because, for example, this gun, and I just unloaded it, it's a P10C, but there's everybody tries to rack a gun like this, where you're having to use your strength like this.
Right.
But if you just simply place your hand here and take this hand and push it forward, go like that, anybody can rack a gun 10 times easier. I mean, hell, I taught my grandmother that. Everybody tries to do this, and it's really hard. But if you'll just hold it like this and press forward, and you're using this hand, you're using your arm, it's 10 times easier. So, that's the way I would do it. So I would want the trigger. That's me personally.
Right. I agree.
So
sandpaper pistol grip in the house.
But, hello, everyone. Everybody's saying hi. Yeah, see, and there's Romans just tried it. Big J, I just tried it on my 2.0, and you're right. Yeah, if you just, don't fight it this way, just do this. That's all you're doing.
Right.
Makes it so easy.
Push and pull, push and pull.
Yep, there you go. And I've shown that to my daughter. I mean, some other ladies who just couldn't rack a slide, and they're like, wow, yeah, everybody can, kind of punch out, and that's all you're doing with it.
Right. And I think, depending on the slide height too, slide height plays a role in that. If you don't have a lot to grip on, I think the side motion is a lot easier than having to go like that,
Yeah.
So
yes, it is. Yeah, Joey's asking about the, one gun from SHOT Show, would you buy? Yeah, we kind of already answered that. So we're gonna, we're just trying to catch all the questions that we might have missed.
Steyr.
Yeah, Steyr. Let's see here. I thought there was one. Oh, yeah, that was one that we were talking about earlier. What do y'all think about, you had the 509 tactical, of course we had the FNS and all that other stuff, but the 509 midsize, the M, is not getting a lot of play. Do you think it's kind of, I know that they were trying to hit that sweet spot of like the Glock 19, and I know we talked about it a little bit on the last chat, but do you really think it's hitting the market like they were hoping it would?
The which one again? I'm sorry, Big Johnson.
The FNS 509M, the midsize.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think FN has such a great market share anyway. I don't think they necessarily dominate, and I still don't know why they waited so damn long. It's the 509, the full size has been out for a while. They really, I think, missed. Again, I think there's some hit and misses. I think it's that's why I'm not necessarily big on that Mossberg, because I think there's such a crowded market right now for that size pistol, and you're seeing advancements in regards to the offerings of these guns, and it kind of just, I don't know. I mean, I hope it's successful, But even with the 509 midsize, I mean, it's a great gun. For me, I would love to own one, but I mean, there's no reason for me to get rid of the full size, you know, and you know, and I can still carry it. You know, I got a nice holster from Harry, and you know, it works for me. You can carry it easily. So I'm not going to be diving into that gun. And of course, the prices are a little bit too high.
Yeah. What do you think, Chaos?
You know, I thought the regular FN that I did last year, it was an okay gun, but it didn't inspire me very much. It didn't excite me. The FN 509 Tactical was a lot of fun. I had a great time with that. I think that's a good gun. It's expensive. That's an expensive firearm, but it's got all the bells and whistles. So I suppose you could justify that. The M, you know, I'm okay with a crowded market. I agree, 17. You're 100% right. Although a crowded market to me is good. It means we've got a lot of different choices, and hopefully it keeps some of the prices down, or at least keeps companies trying to innovate. I mean, hopefully that's the case. As far as an FNM, no, I've done the FN. I've done the FN twice. I don't feel like doing it again for something just slightly smaller. Ironically, I'm talking about the P320 X Compact.
Yeah, right. I know.
So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite there, but like at least the P320s, they've always excited me a little bit. I always end up bummed at the end, but I start out a lot more excited. The FN, not so much. That it's fine. I mean, if people want FN, I mean, they generally are built like tanks, and if they dig FN a lot, I could see a market for it, but I think it'd be a thin piece of the pie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge FN fan. I just don't see, I would rather have the 509 full size than, you know, the compact version, so to say, personally, but that's just me. Quick question. I think Georgia Bowhunter was asking, and we'll just answer this super quick. 509 midsize or the 320? Which one would you pick?
320.
509.
509. Okay. So 2 509 and 1 320.
Wah,
and,
wah, wah.
Yeah. I'm joking. But I mean, and they're both good guns. I mean, I had 320s, and I think they're great guns. I just prefer FN, like I said.
I like the ergonomics better on the FN, and I like the grip texturing, and I'm just not a SIG fan.
Yeah. You know, one thing that really irritates me about SIG, and y'all probably know this, I mean, there's a lot of things, but one of the things on the 320 is the frame, and I had 3 of the frames. You can just touch them and scratch them.
That's true.
I mean, you can literally touch them and it leaves a scratch. And I'm just like, man, I've beat the shit out of my guns and never had a scratch like SIG holds.
My only thing about SIG is I feel like they're so full of shit about themselves. You know,
what do you mean? Everything, it's perfect.
You know, I mean, the thing could blow up in your hand. You could have your firing pin shoot out the muzzle, and they'd be like, "This is like the best gun ever." You know.
Or they would say it was your fault or it was ammo related.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump all over SIG, but they have definitely had their fair share of bumps and bruises over the last couple of years, and I think a lot of it is great ideas, and then they put it out to market and it's not refined. It's not as tested as I think it needs to be. I mean, that's just my perception based upon what I've seen out in the market and what I've seen in my own hands. So yeah, they could be more thoughtful about that. If you guys remember the M17, and that really wasn't a bad gun, except I remember when I opened that box at Centerfire the first time I saw it, it had a couple of pretty good scratches in that PVD coating. I think they're finishing and going along with what you were saying about the frame. I mean, those frames really, truly, if you sneeze on it, you're going to get a little scratch.
Right.
But the PVD coatings, it's the same thing. The Legion was the same too. I remember, I mean, I've had several Legions, and I made absolutely sure that if I was at a gun store, I would only buy one if they had 2 or 3 in stock, so I could get them all out on the table and inspect them all and make sure there aren't any bumps or bruises, because God, they were like Fabergé eggs, and they advertised them as these awesome carry guns and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But if you're throwing it in a holster, you could just hear it and then it's done, right? I mean,
well, they've even been having trouble in the military with those guns. You know?
Oh yeah.
And that's, that's why I say, like, if you put out a gun and the gun is having issues, at least admit to it, own it, man, own it and fix it. But it seems like they're like delusional about what they're putting out lately. And I don't know if it's a QC issue. I don't know if it's a PR problem, but it just seems like to me that is, not where I want to go and visit. And it's not like they're cheap guns,
Yeah, there was a gun store or someone on Instagram. They had just gotten in the 365. They opened up the box and they're holding the gun, and the guy goes like this, and the front sight just slides off of it. Did y'all see that video? Yeah, he just opens up the box. They're inventorying them, and he takes out the P365 and goes like that in the front.
Oh yeah, I did see that with the slide.
Yeah, Razor. I think Razor sent that to me, and he's like, "Check this out." And I was like, "Holy crap!" I'm like, "Man, the guy who fit those sights, he knows that he knew that he cut them too thin or buffed them too thin, and then put them on. He knew that when he put them on. There's just no way around that."
Well, I've told you guys a story about the 238, and I don't know if the is it the 238, right? That's a little the 380. That's kind of like a 1911. Then there's the 938, or whatever it is, 928. On some of them, if you tilt them the right way, the I don't know if it's the safety or the God, I can't think tonight. Sorry, it's been a long day. Or the slide release falls out. They just fall out. And you call SIG and you talk to him about it. And I know that I've had a couple of gunsmith friends have had this response from SIG. They say, yeah, that's known to happen from time to time. But that's it. That's all they say. They don't say anything else.
Yeah, that's normal.
And that is not normal. That is not a normal thing to happen to any firearm. So again, I mean, I don't want to beat up SIG. I mean, they over the long period have put out some phenomenal firearms, but their polymer line has certainly run into some issues. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Now, before we got on, we were on the pre-chat, and Music asked a question. I don't know if she's still on here. Maybe she is, but it was a really good question. If you're looking for your first steel frame pistol, first steel frame, what would you recommend a person trying, or what would you recommend them getting? And price, she said price really wasn't an issue, but she wants a steel frame pistol.
Steel frame, so not alloy, just flat.
Not alloy or polymer, all steel. What would you recommend?
Shadow 2.
Depends on use. I mean, what are you using it for?
Well, target gun, that kind of stuff. Just best all-around steel pistol. What would you recommend?
All steel.
Shadow 2.
P01 compact.
Oh, Dexter saying that he said no, she said not a semi-auto either. I didn't hear her say that, but I didn't hear her say that. I thought she was okay. We'll just keep it like we had it. Best all steel pistol.
I'm saying P01 compact.
Okay. All right, and then you say Shadow 2.
Shadow.
All right, I would say Shadow 2 also. And a lot of people, when we were talking about this, they were kind of recommending 1911s and things like that. And she said that she had shot them, but they were a little difficult to take apart. She wanted to be a little different, but the 1911s were a little more difficult to take apart. So I recommended Shadow 2 also because of the reliability, the capacity, things like that. Really any, hell, SP01, P01, it just depends on what size,
right?
What she's wanting or he's wanting or whomever's buying it. But Razor saying AR pistol. Yeah, that's a good one.
Juicy Pops, Desert Eagle.
That's total manageable right there. Yeah.
Well, but that's the kid. He's got the Kunin Classic. That's a badass.
600 pounds and 4 blocks wide.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, get a hand cannon. But I would say best all around though. Shadow 2.
How about a Python?
Great pistols. I keep waiting for 17 to say that he's going to get one eventually.
What's that? A Shadow 2?
Shadow 2.
Shit, that has to come down about $500. I'm a cheap bastard, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got youngins. I got young kids to raise.
I know, but all you have to do is, not get 2 or 3 of your polymer pistols, and you can get one.
I gotta feed the habit too. All right.
Well, but the thing is
if I have a choice between cocaine and crack, I'm getting crack.
There you go. But once you get, a great pistol, you don't really need a whole bunch more.
No, I'm not a drug addict, everybody. That's just, I'm using that as an example, humor. Okay. Just want to say that.
Yeah. And that's right. Actually, we could call out 17 because your pistol was really not steel.
Actually, the P01 is steel, my friend.
Alloy.
No, the P01 is steel.
It's alloy.
It's alloy.
It's alloy.
That's not true.
There is a steel version.
There is a steel frame.
That's what I'm
not yours.
Yeah, but not yours. Compact, and then the CZ75 compact is the PCR version of it.
Yeah.
All steel pistols.
Yeah, the PO one's alloy.
Don't you ever question my CZ knowledge again, you bastards.
Look it up, punk.
It's alloy. They have an all steel version.
Dude, I have 2 PO1s. I know what the fuck alloy is. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm looking it up.
Which is the one that Coda Boy has? What is it?
The all steel one.
I understand that. What is it called?
The PO1, all steel. It's a different model.
Oh my god! So because I didn't say all steel,
correct?
Yeah, the others are alloy.
Okay, all right. You guys are douches.
We just like busting your balls, but yeah, I've never shot one of the all full steel ones.
Right now, you fuckers.
I know Coda Boy, loves his, but I've never shot one.
Let's see, aluminum. It's aluminum.
Yeah, alloy.
75 T6 aluminum alloy.
I understand that. What I'm saying, oh my god, I'm sorry. So let me rephrase it. It's the P01 steel frame, fuckers.
Okay,
is that better?
All right, it's better.
All right, and then the CZ75 compact. You don't have to say steel frame. You just don't have to say PCR.
Yes, that is all steel. The 75 compact is all steel.
Jesus, semantics, boys, semantics.
Hey man, we got to bust you.
I know.
All right, so
very much.
Now I know the SHOT Show is still going on. Anything that you want to see or you're waiting to see?
All of them from
SHOT Show.
Wait, like what do you mean?
Well, I mean, is there anything else that you haven't seen that you're hoping to see? Like, I haven't heard of any other pistols or anything that I haven't seen yet from SHOT Show. Have y'all?
Not really. I mean, I'd like to see a gun that when you shoot it, cooks you dinner. I'd like to see that. Then I'd pay $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not that I can think of. I mean, I don't know what I don't know, I guess. And I'm learning a little bit more every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hell, I think, it's good that we learn something every day.
Midas has not seen any large boobs at SHOT Show.
Yeah, I know. There are not too many gun bunnies running around.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really when you go to SEMA, you see that at all the car stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, and Red's bringing up a good point. I don't know if y'all really follow a lot of the Shockwave shotguns, but they actually do have some new ones coming out, or newer versions, and they got like a tactical looking one. It's actually really cool looking. I didn't know if y'all are interested in any of that.
Mm-hmm. Nah.
No.
If I was in Mad Max, I'd be interested in it.
Yeah.
Now, what do y'all think about, and I can't remember the dang name of it, but it's kind of got the little, it's kind of like got the shotgun grip on it, but it's an AR-15. Like
that's Fight Light.
Yeah, Fight Light. Yeah. Yeah, that thing, when I first saw it, I was like, God, that's just goofy looking. Mm. But, I've seen a couple people shoot it and stuff, and I don't know. I mean, it might be kind of cool, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be super accurate, but I don't know. Kind of different.
Have you guys been disappointed in any manufacturer at SHOT Show at this point?
Actually, Smith. I've been a little bit disappointed in that. I mean, I'm with you. I would have liked to have seen some things, whether it be optics ready. I mean, it's not going to happen. There's no way. We've talked about this a little bit. I would have liked them to have brought back the 9C in a 2.0. I thought that'd be pretty cool because I still think it's a great gun, but that comes back to that oversaturated market. And when they did the 3.6, there's kind of no reason to do the 9C anymore. But I would have liked to have seen more from Smith.
Yeah.
What about you?
I haven't seen crap, and not that I'm a huge fan. I mean, a fan of them, but I really haven't seen anything from Beretta at all. Not literally one thing. At least Smith had the Performance 2.0. I haven't seen anything from Beretta. Have y'all seen anything at all?
Nothing.
Nope. Nothing.
I mean, not one thing. So I figured they would have something, whether it even just kind of a gun they have, but they're like, hey, look, we put some lipstick on this thing and look at how pretty it is. But
an APX longer slide.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I hadn't seen a thing.
I was a little disappointed with Walther. All I saw was the Q5 steel, which you knew that was, I got to say, a Q5 steel frame. so we don't mix it up for the
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yep. And then they're doing the new revamped PPK, which you know, okay. It's made in the US now, which I guess is better than Ulm. Or not Ulm. They were making them in Umarex for a while. And I was a little disappointed. Nothing new, like just nothing evolutionary, not even revolution, but evolutionary for that PPQ. So that was a bit of a disappointment.
So real quickly, the Q5 match, this is actually alloy. I just want you to know, I'm totally kidding.
It's polymer alloy.
That thing is as steel as it gets. I mean, the thing weighs 17 pounds. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Steel frame music.
Steel frame.
Yeah, and I keep waiting for your, you know, Q5 SF versus Shadow 2. When's that coming?
That's coming. Here's the thing. This was a little bit, I probably didn't think through this very well, between the 43X and the 48, the steel frame, and then the P10F. These, and then Alaskan Ballistics was very nice to send me his Glock 40, his 40. So I'm excited to work with this and then send it back to him. This thing sings a monster. This is a Glock, by the way. This is a Glock. And this is a Glock, just so you guys can kind of appreciate that a little bit. I mean, this thing is absolutely monstrous.
Now, do either one of those say anything about your manhood? Just
well, it's almost the same. Not quite. Anyway,
yeah. That one comes with a set of truck nuts,
and it is all steel. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a lot on the plate right now. And if I could only have one between those two, will definitely be coming, but it might be a ways off yet because I have to wade through some of this stuff first. And so many people have so many videos out on the 43X and the 48, whether they have the gun or not. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just, people are probably tired of it now. And that, that kind of kills things a little bit. So I'm trying to kind of scramble to get some stuff put together for that.
Yeah. People are asking, that's a 6-inch barrel on that 40. It's the same as the 17L and the 24. Mm-hmm. So those are big boys.
So, the PPS M2 RMSC is on hold for now. I had to actually send the optic back. I sent it back to Shield Sights because I was not impressed with the polymer lens in there. So I emailed them. They were very cool about it. They said, send it to us and we'll have it back to you within 7 days upon their receipt. So right now it is hopefully on a plane flying to Great Britain, United Kingdom. So hopefully I'll have that back by next week. Hopefully, they're going to look at it and see if they can repair it or replace it. So I'm hoping for a replacement, but as soon as I get that back, I'm going to shoot the piss out of that gun.
There you go. LZ USA is asking, which ergo grip did I finally install on the new Bolt Action 308? I did a little video and popped it out today. Right now I put the ergo, it's the full size palm swell, and it is the number 4035, and it does have that palm shelf on it. So that's the one that I put on it. And I definitely like these large ergo grips. That other one, if you watch the video, this gun, it's a chassis gun, and it came with a grip, and it's their specialty shooting grip. And the thing is literally like this thin. It looks like, and it's like this big. I don't know what the hell it is, but they say it's some specialty grip, but I can't even get like 2 fingers on this thing. It's so damn small. So I've never seen a grip that small on any rifle. But anyway, so I changed that thing out today and did a video on it because I just can't. I mean, even for a smaller handed person, unless it's something where it lets you work the trigger better, but I can work the trigger fine with even that large grip. So I don't know. It's very weird. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Okay. Yeah. And I've heard that before. Hail to the Roosters talking about the GP 100 match champion. After he took it down, he was not impressed with the Ruger's factory polish job. I've heard that before too. So
I think that'd be fun to shoot though.
Yeah. I mean, I think Insight has one. Insight Freedom has one too, and he really likes it. A lot of people really like them. I think I've only shot one of them one time, and I thought it was fine.
So David just saying that, he hopes Walther takes care of me. If when you buy that gun, you have to actually send the optic to the company, which is Shield Optics or Shield Sights or whatever it is. So you actually have to send it back to the United Kingdom because that's where they're based out of. So it costs $15 to ship it. So it is what it is. Walther won't take care of that because it's not a Walther part,
Gotcha. And that's another thing, because we really, I guess all three of us really don't dabble in them, but let's say this, if you had to buy one revolver right now, which revolver would you buy?
Smith & Wesson 936.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I'm not a revolver guy either.
If you had to, I said.
If I had to?
Had to.
I don't know enough about revolvers, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about them. I look at them and I'm just like, meh, and I move on. I don't have enough knowledge to even comment on that.
I would have a Korth. I'd have to sell a car or something like that to buy one.
Right.
Yeah, but man, those things, especially the one with the tactical rails on it and stuff, and like the 2-pound trigger. I mean, good Lord, I handled one at NRA show, and I'm not a revolver guy either, but that thing was amazing. I was just like, holy crap, that's a nice revolver. Yeah, and there's a lot of people are saying like Red Hawk 454, 686 plus, King or Colt Cobra. Yeah. And hell, I've got 3 revolvers. I just don't ever shoot them. I just never shoot them. But this Korth revolver is like a high dollar this thing is like the nuts. It's awesome.
Rugged Reviews is asking about thoughts on Kimber 1911s.
Go ahead.
I don't have much knowledge on them. From what I've heard, they're not necessarily the most reliable 1911 out there. I think you have a lot of good choices, and some people may not want to hear this, but Springfield Armory makes really good 1911s. And I don't think they're as pricey as Kimbers.
Yeah. The Kimbers aren't, they're not bad. I prefer the older Kimbers, like way back Kimbers. I think they're smoother, like a lot of the new Kimbers, they've got RMRs, they've got the flashy cuts, but some of the slides just they don't feel like the old ones did. And I'm talking about even when they were new, the older versions of the Kimbers, they seem just better built. I don't know if it's now Kimber's just doing more of a mass produce. And I'm not saying that Kimbers are bad 1911s. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I prefer the older versions of the quality versus the newer ones.
I had an Ultra Carry 2, I think it was, years ago, and it was an okay gun. Back then I wasn't quite as into guns as I am now. I didn't have as much experience. Not that I have that much, but I'd more, I suppose. You've got to do the bull barrel takedown, which was always such a pain. So you got to get the little clip in there and everything.
Oh.
But Kimbers have had an off and on track record. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I like the Taurus G2C, and Taurus has had a terrible track record over the years. But I agree. There are other 1911s in that price range or even less. You could look at Ruger's, Springfield's, Sig Sauers, Colts even that are going to be as good or probably a little bit better, a little bit more reliable, a little bit more refined. So there are a lot of Kimber fans out there, but to me, I think there's some others that just have a little bit better reputation.
Yeah, Indy Polo has a question. He is asking about the 1911 E series. Smith & Wesson 1911 E series.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. Now, would you rather have an E series or the Performance series?
Probably Performance series.
Yeah.
Those things are incredible. I actually like the compact or the officer version with the bobtail grip, whatever. I like that quite a bit. Yeah,
between the E series and the Performance, I would go with the Performance. I like that Scandian frame. That thing is really nice. But there's nothing wrong with the E series. That I remember. I haven't shot one in a long time, and I've never owned one. I have shot them before, but I definitely really like the Performance Center. I think they make a hell of a gun. But, since we are kind of talking a little bit about 1911s, if you were going to buy a 1911 today, okay, if you were just going to go out and buy one, it could be a 1911, a 2011, whatever you think. What would you buy?
Could it be anything?
Anything, yeah. Any 1911 or 2011, what would you buy?
17, what do you think?
I would go out and buy an Atlas like Pops.
Okay.
I don't know. That Nighthawk custom was pretty incredible. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of those are really, really nice. Dan Wesson's are really nice too. I think they make some really cool ones. I don't know. I'd probably be happy with most of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I like STIs and, the Atlases and all that stuff. But if I had, if I could go buy one today, I would go buy the new Nighthawk Customs, and they actually opened up the 2011 frame Nighthawk Custom. So you get the Nighthawk Custom, but it's got a 2011 double stack frame on it. And that thing is freaking badass. I put my hands on it at a gun store, and it had the flag, the American flag kind of battle worn on it. And I was just, man, I fell in love with that gun. That thing was freaking butter. And it had a flat trigger in it. And it's basically somewhat like an STI lower. I matched them up, and it looks exactly like the STI lower, but it's got kind of better grip texture on it, and had a flat trigger in it. And this thing was butter. I mean, I was really, really impressed with that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's some people picking some good stuff. STI Edge, Wilson Combat makes great pistols. Yeah, the new Combat Master is badass from the new John Wick movie. I'd love to have that thing too. Ed Brown's. Yep, Pop says you hold a Nemesis and you're done. I know, Pops, that's why I haven't held one yet. Probably buy the damn thing. Yep, he has his third Nemesis on the way. Pops is Nemesis deep.
It's about that time, brother.
Yes, it is. All right, gentlemen. If y'all want to close out, what do you got coming up? And let's call it a night. Real quick, let's answer this question because she asked it earlier. What low-end 1911 if you had to pick one? Real quick.
I'd go Ruger. If you're doing sub 1,000 or maybe sub 900 something, Ruger makes a really solid 1911.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I'd probably flip it a little bit and maybe go SIG for the 1911s. They make some good stuff too, and you can get them pretty reasonable sometimes. I'd probably go SIG, and there's nothing wrong with Ruger either. But all right, now we can go ahead and close it out, guys.
I got dog barking in the background. Let's see. PPS when it's ready to go. PX4 coming soon. 48 coming soon. I don't really know after that. And I'm just noticing one of my videos, somebody filed a copyright claim on my video.
Oh boy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, yay. I hit the big time. So I got to get rid of my music on the PPS RMSC. So that might be the end of my music interludes because I can't be bothered with that stuff. So it is what it is. Not a big deal. So they're gonna delete the first 50 seconds of my video, which is totally fine.
All right.
Don't give a shit about
what do
that.
you got, KS?
Oh, well, I mean, I've kind of already given away pretty much all the stuff that I'm working on right now. But the Walther drops on Saturday. I'm hoping to get the 43X out on Sunday. AR Project Part 2 comes out as well very soon, and some other things coming up. So lots of fun stuff.
Cool. I have we got a video, and if you haven't checked it out, Harry's actually has outside waistband holsters now. So check them out if you'd like one. Got a video on it, and also I have there you go.
Yeah.
And I have got the video on the STI, the SS 5.0 Tactical, and there are some likes and some dislikes. So I have that video dropping, so it's not all fun and games on that one. And some of them are a little concerning. So I think you might want to stay tuned for that. So
yeah, I just want to say one last thing. I also have holster month coming out again. I got some new holsters, so I kind of want to do that every once in a while and just try to get some people some business and stuff. So, Harry, that's to you. I would like to get one of your outside waistband holsters. so I can pair that up with the inside the waistband that I got for the FN. So I got some like Tolster, I got the hairy one, I got another one from Black Arch, and I think they're going to be sending me that Revcon and the single clip. So, you know, we'll see how it plays out. I'm just trying to get as many people as I can to just send me stuff so I can do videos on them. So
cool.
We'll see how it goes.
And we definitely want to thank the family out there for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. Hope you all enjoyed it. And if you have any questions afterwards, come on and leave the questions after the after chat. We'll all try to jump in and answer them. And, you know, please subscribe to all the content creators and other channels out there. They all do great work, and we appreciate it so much. So until next week, is it on yours, KS?
I don't remember. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I think it's on KS's next week. So next Wednesday will be KS's, and y'all can all please tune in and join us. Check us all out on Instagram. We're throwing stuff up on there that we never do videos on. So if you want to see some stuff, check it out. But we appreciate y'all so much. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Carry on.